Welcome everybody to the Hello Game Day podcast. Got a special episode because we've got one of my good mates from my younger years, my rat bag years, in Lukey Ryan on the show today. So make sure that you guys are subscribed wherever you're listening, and I'm going to flick it over to Poncho to give Lukey a pump up.
All right, so we have Luke Ryan here. He's a Calder Cannons boy through the TAC Cup. He went on to play a few years at Coburg in the VFL, where he got picked up, pick 66 in the 2016 draft of Fremantle, where he's absolutely killing it at the moment. So, Lukey, give us your biggest Hello Game Day.
Hello Game Day.
Yeah,
we love it.
I'm going to start off by just giving everybody a great introduction to you, Lukey boy, by giving a few stitch-ups. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine with me, Jakey.
And you're going to love this because our good mate Josh Cole, shout out to him, has absolutely thrown you directly under the bus. So,
it's going to be good.
For you is that Calder Cannons, you're on a camp and they're taking a team photo, and you have obviously been watching Angry Boys and you've done a bit of a sneaky nuts. And then apparently they've posted the photo to Twitter and then not realised for a few hours that you've done the sneaky nuts.
Yeah, that's spot on. I'll admit that. I have a bit of fun. I don't know whose shoulder it was on, actually. I remember, popping one out, and next thing you know, it's on Twitter. So I think I missed the game for that. And I think when it was what do you call it, like the VIX, whatever, and that coming around and asked why isn't Luke training or playing, and they told him I had a club suspension.
How did they approach you about? How did they say that what you'd done?
They just sort of seen it late and just got called into the office, and there was a coach, a few other guys there, and it's pretty much just told me. So it was pretty scary.
It is absolute teenage mischief at its best. Now, Marby Park, my old junior footy club. I think you're playing a senior game for them, and you've rocked up 10 minutes late for a team meeting with a bag of Maccas and a drinking of Maccas Coke.
Josh told you this one as well?
He has. Apparently you came out and got best on.
Yeah, I remember, I think I was at work back before playing local, and stopped off at my girlfriend's house at the time, and I said, oh shit, I haven't eaten, so I thought I'd grab Maccas and had a few hash browns and rocked up a bit late, and the coach said after the game, if you play like that, you can eat whatever you want before the game. So I got pretty lucky there.
Did you start on the bench or?
No, I actually started on the ground, started on the half back, I think it was. So it was, my coach loved me.
Now, Joshy Boy was absolutely stoked with this one. This was his favourite one. He says that you absolutely love your fake gold Rolex. Tell us about your fake gold Rolex.
I knew this one would be coming. Yeah, my mum and dad bought me a fake gold one from, where was it? Malaysia or something. I've rocked it a couple of times, I'll admit it. Everyone has.
Yeah, well, apparently you were cutting a few shapes and doing a few claps on the dance floor at a club, and it went flying off.
That's true as well. I've had a couple of them. One did actually go flying while I was having a bit of fun at Pony.
Yeah. Well, you got to fake it till you make it. Now, the last one I've got for you, before I hand it over to Poncho, is something about your toes. I haven't been given much detail, but why do you tape up your toes before a game?
Oh, blisters. As everyone knows, everyone plays footy. I always have blisters, so everyone tapes up their toes, so that's why I do it.
So there's nothing else about your toes?
Yeah, good looking, but about it.
Funny looking toes?
Yeah, funny looking toes. Ask him about his.
I will next episode.
So a couple of the boys I reached out to stress that you love the punt and you love to get on a quaddie. So is there a regular go-to or anything you kind of like to punt on?
As every man does that loves to have a quaddie. A few of us boys, always put in $50 for a quaddie, and when it's spring carnival time, I like to have a quaddie, maybe back a few winners, as you would at Cox Plate, listen to Dale Braithwaite.
Absolutely. So another one is that you're obviously, you've been described as a social butterfly, someone who absolutely loves a good time. And is there a story behind the nickname Party Boy Ryan?
Yeah. Your mum doesn't like this. Hopefully your mum doesn't listen. I remember all the way through me, Calder Cannons and whatever, I always used to go out and go to recovery a bit dusty or, yeah, all that sort of stuff. So sort of come out. I was missed a few trainings and, yeah, I was obviously going out a fair bit and Cannon's Mad Monday. So I went to my best work and, yeah, sort of just come up from there really. So my mum hates it and, yeah, a few of the clubs would bring it up. So I'll try to keep that on the down low.
That's pretty elite as well, because from what I've known from my TAC days, Sandy Dragons had 0 Mad Monday. So if you're going off a Mad Monday TAC Cup, you're doing well there. Now, another one is one of the boys asked me to see how your injuries are going, and especially your back. Apparently, you used to complain a lot about your back in the day, and you used to say, "My back, cuz." That was the quote.
Is that Griff?
It was your old housemates actually up in Freo.
Oh, Talon, yeah. Well, because I always like to say the word "cuz," so I had a sore back for ages. I still do have a sore back, and all the boys joke around and go, "Oh, sore back, cuz, sore back, cuz." So I've got the nickname from that as well. So my back's actually pretty sore, but yeah, that's the boys always stitching out for that.
And they wanted me to stress that it was not Shagger's back. There was no shagging involved in these injuries. So.
You can't. No shagging. It's 2020. Not allowed to have anyone over anymore. So
yeah. So we've clarified that. Now another one, mates, and this is impeccable. We've got a bit of footage to come up. So Moosey, prep yourself. An amazing achievement. You've got the best on ground medal in what I believe is your first VFL game. And then you've gone on to have one of the biggest mares by thanking the wrong team. So can you talk me through what happened there?
I'll just play for you boys really quickly.
Oh.
Game, so I'm lucky to our boys. Well, nearly won it, but 4 through, so one on the Sandy end. So box hill.
I'll shoot myself. Yeah, it was my first game or whatever, and won the game. We just lost, I think, and yeah, I think the same colours, Sandringham and Box Hill. So yeah, I got it confused and had a little bit of a slip up on the mic, so it wasn't my best moment.
Was that a final, or how did you end up on the mic? It must have been a significant game somehow.
Yeah, I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I'm not too sure, to be honest. It's just a normal game. It wasn't a finals game or anything like that. We were on the bottom of the ladder, so.
Oh, there you go.
Some special round. I don't know what it was.
Oh, there you go. That's an absolute pisser. So those were all the stitch-ups we had. And the last one was, now, you know Moose back in the day, and he was a bit of a rat bag. So did you have any stories that you could rip into Moose about or enlighten us with?
Oh, the big rat. You never used to go to class. You always used to be at High Point Wagon. That's him taking a lovely girl on a nice little walk, holding hands, or having a dart at the back of the basketball court. So, mischief, Jake. Yeah, he never used to be in class. He always used to be a bit scared of Jake, to be honest with you. He's a bit of a bad boy. We've had some funny times there. He's not like the bloke he's now. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, everyone's developed into a better bloke since those days. So, yeah, I've seen Moosey change a fair bit, and we have ripped into him about his old day escapades. But, yeah, he's a good man now. So I'm glad we got a bit more insight, though.
Well, look, it was right there at the forefront in those days, at my Maribyrnong College days. And you're not wrong. I used to sit at the back of the basketball courts and smoke durries at lunchtime. Just must have knew what was going on. They were walking. We were like blowing it down into jumpers. They would have known for sure.
Oh, it was funny it was a good day. Missed that school.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, about your juniors, Lukey. So you played for Moonee Valley in your juniors. Now, who was it? You, 2 Metre Peter. Who else was on that team that playing good footy now? Dylan Prestia's cousin.
Oh no, that was when I was at Abbas, I think it was.
Oh, you played Abbas for juniors.
Yeah, Abbas and Moonee Valley. I played at both.
So
yeah. Who was that? Scotty Willis. I think I played a couple of games at Danaher. Who else? Remember Victor Carboni and all that sort of stuff? They were pretty good VFL players. But yeah, 2 Metre Peter was the one I played 16s at the Moonee Valley, played AFL. And Josh will say he's one of the best footballers going around too. So, but
in our Marby team, we had Tukey Boy, we had Joel Smith playing for the D's now, Guy Walker, who played for the D's for a bit, and then myself at full forward. Now, I don't know if you remember this, Loogie Boy, but I was big stay-at-home full forward, and I used to clunk them. Round 1 against Oak Park, I kicked 5, and Took has amnesia, does not remember. But do you remember me as a big, intimidating full forward?
Yeah, I just not intimidated. I just remember he was a big fat full forward. Yeah, yeah. I remember you did have a good side with Tukey and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, I don't know about intimidating. I know you never used to leave the square and sit at home, and yeah, not probably having a few durries at half time.
I'm pretty sure, Moose, I've heard that you traded kicking snags for eating snags, and that's what happened to your footy career.
That went down the hill. Down after that under 16s year, I tell you what. But now the Maribyrnong Sports Academy, were you a part of that, Loogie?
I could never get in, Jake, just like you. Could never get in.
I never tried. So you couldn't get into the Sports Academy. When did you get into Calder Cannons?
I don't know. Maybe when I was like 16, I played like 1 or 2 games and had a pre-season and got cut. But yeah, I'd never really made it. Never really made anything when I was younger. Even like Cannons, Vic, always used to get cut first for Vic. Like, yeah, never really made it. It wasn't good enough.
This is the thing that like gets me about you is because like when we used to knock about together back in the day, I knew you were like a half decent footy player or whatever, but like I never would have thought that you would have played AFL because you like I think you matured physically pretty late. You got taller later and got bigger later. But what was it from your perspective that really changed everything? Because when I heard that you were playing good footy for VFL and you got picked up, I was actually really, really surprised.
Yeah, everyone says that. I don't know what it was really. I was like, I don't know, like every 17-year-old, I was always more about, I don't know, hanging with my mates, just playing footy local at Marby or wherever it was and having fun, going out, having beers, drinking. And I was working, as you know, I left at like school at year 10. So I don't know, everyone used to finish school and go to training where I'd be like at work, tired, used to hate, I got driving all the way to Craigie around the Cannons, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I always just like to play my local footy, have beers and go out that night like every kid does. So, and then sort of, I don't know, I think I got 19 or whatever it was. And my mum said, if you get drafted or whatever, I'll buy you a dog. So if I give footy a fair go. So yeah, I trained harder and worked harder and yeah, I got picked up later. So, but I wasn't, really keen on footy at 17, 18.
It's an unreal story. And you were doing your carpentry apprenticeship, right? Yeah.
I was cabinet making, then carpentry, yeah.
Yeah, and so when did you sort of start to realise that it was going to, like, that footy was potentially going to be a pathway for you?
Oh, like, even halfway through, I only played like 8 games or whatever it was at VFL. Even like, everyone started saying you're going to get drafted or whatever it was at round 4, but I didn't really think anything about it. Like, and then until I had a few meetings with clubs, and then I was like, oh shit, it's starting to get serious. And played another couple of games later, and then done my shoulder, and yeah, literally a couple months later, I got picked up to go to Fremantle. So I wasn't expecting it until literally my name got called out.
Right. So tell us about your journey from your, because you played a little bit of Calder Cannons in your juniors. Tell us about your journey from after the draft year where you were obviously overlooked, and then your journey in at local footy and then VFL and then to AFL. Yeah.
So when I was 18, I got overlooked. But I was, like I said, I wasn't really keen on getting drafted, and then just went back to doing my apprenticeship and going out every weekend and playing local footy at Marby, and loved every bit of it. And I just always done the normal stuff. Worked Saturdays, played Saturday like arvos and all that sort of stuff. And just tried to finish my apprenticeship. And I just loved doing it that way. I just loved chilling out and being myself. Yeah.
And where were you on draft night?
I was at home with me family. I had, obviously my mum, dad and brother were there, and a few other family members, but not too many because I was a bit nervous. Mum was telling everyone to come over. I was like, I'm not going to get drafted. So
you were going to get picked up?
Yeah, I honestly didn't think I was that much of a big chance of getting picked up. So my manager said I was going to go pick 19 or wherever it was, and I ended up going pick 66. So I was like, after about 25, I was a bit nervous.
Yeah, right. I can imagine, because like you don't know, like once you get past that point, clubs might show an interest, but you've got no fucking idea where you're going. Like you could be anywhere, and then you get called out to Freo on the other side of Australia, and that must be like a shock.
Yeah, Mum started bawling her eyes out. She's like, yes, and when she's like, oh fuck, Freo, she's like started bawling her eyes out. Brother started playing, and then it sort of really didn't hit home to me until like I was in bed on my own when everything's just calmed down. I was like, oh shit, I've got to travel across the country. I've never been there, don't know anyone there. Like, it's going to be scary as. But lucky I was a bit older then, so it made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, and you're an Ascot Vale boy like myself, and like Tukey boy as well. So you've got like a really good bunch of mates. I know those boys as well, obviously, and it must have been pretty difficult to have to leave them. And you must find out, like, do you keep in contact with them and stuff?
Yeah, obviously, you know, Josh Cole's my best mate. Like, we FaceTime nearly every day, same as my parents. Yeah, we talk all day, every day. Like, it's just like I'm back home sort of thing. And whenever I can go back home, I try to, and spend obviously a lot of time with my mum and dad, and then my mates as well. So luckily we live pretty close next to each other, but obviously these times can't get back to anyone. So shout out to Melbourne and stay safe.
Shout out to everyone in Melbourne. Now, that's all I've got for you for now, Lukey boy.
Yes, so I'll take over from you get drafted and you make the big trip across the pond to Fremantle, and you move in with a couple of characters in Lockie Weller, Gaz Coffey and Tommy Sheridan. So how did you find the transition then to move across, and how was the household that you lived in?
Oh, yeah, it was a funny household. Tommy Sheridan is one of the funniest blokes I've ever met. He's just non-stop, 24 hours a day, yelling, screaming. And then Lockie Weller was like the polar opposite. Him and Nicola, his girlfriend, who were very nice, just quiet, just do their own stuff. And and then I had Thalia Callis, who was there as well, and she was sort of like one of us as well. So it was good fun. And Tommy's full on. I remember him playing FIFA for $100, $50 up until 12 o'clock at night, maybe even 2 in the morning, and then we got trained the next day. So it was full on, and Tommy made it actually a whole lot better than what it was. So it was, lucky to him.
You're in all Australian form this year. It's clear that you're a person who has continually persevered and improved along every a part of your footballing journey. Is there anything that you've been doing at your training or outside of football that you can attest to this incredible success you've had this season?
Obviously when we come back from our last off season, I've come back obviously a little bit stronger. I had a different gym program to work on. Worked on my glutes and my lower back because I was obviously hurting me last year. So I worked on that a fair bit. And then when we had that COVID break, I don't know how long it was, and can only train in like 1s or 2s, but I was trained a lot harder than what I did before. And it's probably a good thing for me having that little break, and just come back a lot fitter and a lot stronger. And now that I've played consistent footy over, I don't know how many games it is now. This is the most games I've played in a row before. So just trying to keep on top of it. It's obviously being 24, I've matured a lot more. So that's probably the thing that's stood out to me.
Absolutely, mate. It's pretty obvious that you've got benefits out of that, because I'm a stats man and I've got a few stats from the AFL, and right now you're ranked number 1 in intercept possessions for games. It's just under 8 per game. You're number 1 in rebound 50s. You've got 105, which is 13 more than the next closest player. You're ranked 2 for kicks in the league, and the disposal efficiency is 84%, and ranked 6 with meters gained. Like, as a defender, that's probably the most elite kind of thing you could be ranked in all of those areas, and you're pretty much top of the chart. So for yourself, it's clear that you're getting a lot of benefit out of everything you're doing. So I just wanted to chuck those out and let everyone know how good you're going. Now, moving on to so Fremantle have some pretty promising young players coming through, and for any Fremantle supporters watching, who's someone to keep an eye out for the future?
Oh, well, obviously, probably 3 that really stand out: Adam Chera, Andy Brayshaw, and Caleb Sarong. Caleb Sarong reminds me so much of Lockie Neal. Like, I was seeing Lockie for 2 years, and then now seeing Caleb. Like, it's so weird. He's just a smaller version of Lockie, and he's going to be a superstar. I reckon he'll win a Brownlow very soon. But then, like, my housemate Brendan Cox, who's just started playing down back. He's only played like 10 games down back, and he's starting to dominate and getting better every week. And who else stands out a fair bit? There's a fair few, but Michael Frederick on the wing. He just runs all day, and he's real quick, and he's really exciting. So there's a lot of young guys down here, and we're starting to play better as we start to learn our new coach's game plan, which is getting a whole lot better.
Absolutely. It's clear that you boys are definitely going to be on the rise for years to come with your younger stocks. And also because you're our first Freo player on the podcast, so I haven't been able to ask, but are there any absolute larrikins or much-loved figures around the club that stand out?
Oh, yeah, there's a fair few. Probably Griffin Logue. He's a funny, strange man. Matt Taberner is very awkward and funny. If you ask Tommy Sheridan about them two, he'll give you a whole lot about them too. And probably Braden Matera too. He's a pisser. There's them three probably stand out the most.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've met Fish a couple of times up on the Gold Coast when I was living with Tukey, and I know he's a bit of a classic when it comes to gags and just his general persona around the club. And now to a couple of absolute veterans at your club in Nat Fyfe and Sonny Walters. How do they go about their business around the club when it comes to training habits and like setting standards?
Sonny's one of the hardest trainers I've ever seen. He pushes through cones, obviously in pre-season, as we all do, but even during season, he works so hard. So he's probably the one that stands out. And Fyfe is just, even like now, and when I see him, I still walk past and I'm like, oh, shit, that's Fyfe, you know? So training, he just does what he does what he needs to. Always does extras. In the gym, he doesn't really like lift weights. He sort of does, I don't know, it's something weird. He does his own little gym program, but he's just a ripped, massive beast. And even when I'm out in the footy field, if I'm ever in trouble and I see Fyfe 1-on-3, I'll kick it because I know he'll probably halve it, if not win it. So, them two are really elite and just, great leaders. It's good.
Absolute animals. And moving on to your coaches that you've had. So first and foremost, Ross Lyon. Now, I think we've asked one other player who's had a coach them before, but have you come across any Ross Lyon sprays, or did you witness one, or did you get one absolutely thrown at you?
I think it was me first or second year. I got the Rising Star nomination, then we went over to play Sydney the week after, and I had a stinker. So had a few other boys, but Ross comes up to me, looked me directly in the eyes, and said, "Get your head out of the fucking Perth bubble," and just like started spitting and going red. I honestly generally shit myself. I'm scared. He's a scary man, and that's probably the only one really. We've had a few talking tos, but he was good, but he's a scary man, Ross. Very scary.
Yeah, we see it on the TV from afar when he goes off. I wouldn't want to be in front of him. Now, moving on to Justin Longmuir, who's your coach this year. How are you finding him as a coach, and what does he sort of brought to the club that's a bit different from Ross?
Obviously the whole game plan is different. Well, not a whole lot, a fair bit different, but not a whole lot different, if you know what I mean, sort of thing. But he just brings everyone into the club together. Obviously, we've had a whole lot of new coaches, players, years have changed, but he's just really positive. Always tells you to back yourself. When we have the ball, we just do what we do. It's not so much structure. He just gives you a lot of freedom and confidence going into every week. And the boys love him. The club's a whole lot different. The club's, I don't know, feelings change. It's just a really good vibe at the moment. And even JL, his first year, and we've got younger players, so it's a real young group and exciting.
Lovely. So I'll hand it over to Moosey because that was my last question. He seems like he's definitely changed the culture, and things are, just different, but not in a bad way in terms of Ross being a bad coach or anything, but there's a fresher feel to the club from the outset. Yeah,
definitely. 100%. You're spot on there. Spot on.
I've actually been in contact with the Luke Ryan Appreciation Society. I'll call it the Appreciation Society on Facebook. And they've just put up a bit of a Q&A to all their supporters. And you've got 1,300 supporters on there. You could start a cult if you wanted to. There's so many people. Now, I'm just going to read out a few of these questions. Give your followers a shout out if you don't mind. And if you want to quickly just answer a few of these questions, that'd be awesome. So Aaron Antilov says, what's it like being in Perth, and what do you love about Perth?
Perth? It's quite good weather. The beach is unreal and the cafe's good, where Melbourne's, as you know, is complete opposite. So, Melbourne's always up and about going, and Perth's is really chilled out. Nice, really nice people, and it's a good place. Yeah.
Now, I've got a few strange ones here. I don't know if you know these people, but Peter Mullen says, is it true that you're crap at darts and that your nan can kick your butt? Does that make any sense at all?
That's me uncle. He's probably had it now, to be honest. Yeah, terrible at darts, if you know him, will kick me on the butt.
And Diane Ryan, I'm assuming you're related, says, is it true your dad and Coxie's dad beat you and Coxie in beer pong?
Yeah, that is actually true. That's me mum. I hate it how she's on.
Yes, Mum.
Yes.
She's on. That does me head in. Get away, mum. But yes, my dad and my housemate's dad bet us in beer pong. Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Diane probably made the page.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Now,
Embarrassing.
Yvonne Rolfe says, is David Mundy staying at Freo?
I hope so. He's getting better and better as the year goes on. I always say to him when we walk past him, he's playing midfield now, and I still say he's still got another 2-3 years of playing forward pocket. So I hope he stays for a long time.
He's an absolute red wine. Gets better with age, David Mundy.
Yeah.
Chantal Quartermain says, Luke, you are good at the back line. Can't wait for next year. What would you say to Chantal?
I can't wait for next year as well.
Yeah, he's going to love it. Kylie Burton says, most memorable moment of 2020, the year that was.
Most memorable moment of 2020. Can I say get me dog? Or do I have to say? No, probably the St Kilda win where we were getting flogged. The first half pretty much. We come back to win. And that was JL's first win. So that's probably most memorable moment. It was unreal win.
I remember that day vividly because me and Poncho had a wager on that game. And if Poncho lost, if you guys won that game, then I got to shave his head and I got to do it. So
Really?
Yeah, mate, we'll show you the photo afterwards. It was the most hideous thing ever. And I put the phone away at half time. I was with the missus. I was happy. You boys were done and dusted. And then I get a phone call from Moose playing the Freo song, Getting Up Me. And I knew exactly what was coming down my way. So once we get off, I'll show you the photo of my lid. It's disgusting.
Back us in?
Well, mate, it's embarrassing now that I have to tell you this.
Yeah, we were.
Now, the last one I've got for you from Nicola Jenkins Smith is, what is yours and Coxie's favourite TikTok that you've created?
Oh, there's a few embarrassing ones. Probably the dirty dancing one. It's cringeworthy, but it's...
Were you carrying or Coxie was carrying?
No, I was not carrying. I was just laying down on the floor. Was it dirty dancing? I think it was. I don't know. But yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. You know, the quarantine isolation time.
These things happen, brother. Now... That's all I've got for you, mate. I just want to say a massive thank you. It was good to see your lid again. Haven't seen you since maybe when I saw it at the Albion last year. But
what a joy.
When we're both back in Melbourne.
Can't wait to go there again. Oh. Thanks,
mate. Yeah, man. So thanks for me as well, mate. First time meeting you, but you're an absolute character and a larrikin. I'm sure everyone who gets to listen to this will get to know a bit more about you. So thanks for coming on and helping us out with our business here.
Thanks for having me, boys. Anytime.